ESPN has come out with their off-season grades. We're going to get into this a little bit. Now, Philadelphia sports fans, especially, not exactly well loved around the country, not exactly well loved in sports media. And yet, check this out. This is why we're going to talk about this. And I'm going to let you know the grades of some of the other, shall we say, contenders for that one seed, for that Super Bowl appearance, for those playoff appearances that are obviously competing with the Philadelphia Eagles. ESPN has given one A. Now there's a couple A minuses, but they've given one A for their off-season grades. No A pluses, only one A. And as shocking as that is going to be to all of us, that A belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the three things listed at the top in biggest move, it did this for all the teams. Biggest move I liked, move I disliked. Biggest move, of course, obviously trading AJ Brown. Biggest move liked by ESPN, and that, of course, was signing quarterback Reek Woolen, which, yeah, I think I'd probably agree with this. This next one, I'm not sure about. Now, these are always tricky. These are always tricky, right? You never really know, other than if there's immediate impact on how it affects other players you may or may not be able to sign anymore. And the move they disliked the most was extending, giving that massive contract to Jordan Davis. So that one for me, we'll see. I mean, Jordan Davis has really stepped up his game, and I think for a lot of people it felt like, well, it's going to be Jordan Davis or it's going to be Jalen Carter. Jordan Jalen, and a lot of people I think going into this season maybe would have said Jalen Carter, but Jordan Davis has really stepped up his game. Plus, I love his attitude and his work ethic. I think more than Jalen Carter. Now, hey, they may keep both, right? There's still talk about that. And now, of course, there's also talk about trading Jalen Carter as well. But anyway, do me a quick favor while we're here. If you're enjoying the content as we're ramping up, training camp starting soon, please like, comment, subscribe below. Help other people find the channel. Help other people find these videos. I really do appreciate it. Cannot do it without you. So let's get into this. Now, as we know, and mentioned right at the top, of course, because that was probably the biggest news in the Eagles offseason was finally unloading Jaylen Brown, getting a first round, right? First round and fifth round pick. And like they said here, I kind of agree with, AJ Brown loses kind of a short term knock, but I don't think this is a long term issue. I think AJ Brown. Now, don't get me wrong. I think AJ Brown is going to have at least the first season, maybe the first couple. He's going to have a massive season in New England because it's that honeymoon period, right? And they're like, "Oh, we've finally got this number one guy," and they are going to throw the ball to AJ Brown a lot. And in today's NFL, when you have a decent passing game and you have a number one receiver and you throw to that receiver a lot, there are going to be massive stats. Now, whether that is the best thing to do for you to be winning games, that's another issue. But I have no doubt AJ Brown's going to have a monster season. So I think, well, I've talked about that in the other videos. I think the Eagles win on that trade. I think short term, I get it. There's going to be an adjustment. But you know what? If this Eagles offense develops throughout the season, I think it needs to be good enough with our great defense early on that we're still winning games, right? I think it's going to take a little while to be hitting on all cylinders, but and I know this sounds weird from a Philly fan, right? Because we've been conditioned to be disappointed a lot, but I'm excited about what this Eagles offense can be doing by the time we get to middle, two-thirds in, end of the season, playoffs coming with the weapons and pieces we have with the new offense that we're hearing about. I'm excited about that. So, I mean, obviously we got Dontavian Wicks. We drafted Mekhi Lemon. Dallas Goddard's coming back. Oh man, please don't yell at me. I could have paused this and checked and sounded really smart, But Eli, well, oh my God, what's Eli's last name? Right, I can't. I'm blanking on the tight end, but we got the best tight end in college football as well. Obviously, we have Devontae Smith. We've got Saquon Barkley coming out of the backfield, which I think he did not do enough last year as a receiver. I think that'll be big. So I'm excited about the Eagles' offense. One thing he pointed out, and again, something I think I agree with, but it's flying under the radar to all of us because of all the other stuff that has happened, and that is the edge getting Jonathan Grenard, right? Edge rusher, veteran, and I think that's going to be big for the Eagles. That's something that he mentioned that acquisition, and even said in this article, it talks about how I'm not a big fan of giving up a lot for these older veterans. And I kind of feel the same way, although maybe even more specifically with free agent signings, right? You sign that big free agent when they hit 30, 31, 32, and you overpay because we've probably seen their best years. But I think this is a guy that we only need this, it's not that we can't get more. I mean, this, it's not like he's 38, but this year, and I think we needed productive edge rushing. So I agree. I think that was a big trade for the Eagles as well. And obviously, of course, when we lost Jalen Phillips. So, and if he mentioned, and we've talked about this, and I mentioned it at the beginning because I said what he liked the most was Reek Woolen, 1 year, 12 million. We'll see how that goes going forward. But if he can produce the way we all think he can produce, if he can allow, because we know no shade to Dory Jackson, and I actually think he played decent football toward the end of the season, but that's a massive upgrade. And that was maybe our biggest weakness. Maybe safety, just because the injury to Makuba obviously hurt a lot. But having a Dory Jackson out there and then having to move um, Coop over to the outside and certain base defenses and so forth obviously hurt the Eagles defense as good as it was. So I think that's really big at all. Now, I want you to hear this. I did not know this in researching him when we got that signing. Over the past 4 seasons, Woolen ranks first among all cornerbacks with at least 500 coverage snaps in air yards allowed per coverage snap. By the way, just ahead of new teammate Kenyon Mitchell. Okay, those are going so first and second. Our guys are first and second. Those will be the Eagles starting outside cornerbacks. And then he finishes up with the critique. The only downside thing, because obviously gave him an A, was a 3 year, $78 million extension for Davis, which he thinks is a bit much for a nose tackle. So yeah, I mean, I kind of get that when you look at going rate and all that. Now, I just want to finish up. I'm not going to go through all the details, but just to run some numbers through you, just so you have an idea. Now, in our division, Cowboys and Commanders were both given a C plus. The Giants were given a B plus. I think the Giants are going to be pretty good this year. I really do. Now, in terms of teams that we're looking at as, hey, these are the teams that, most likely playoff teams, most likely the other Super Bowl contenders, the teams that really the Eagles are going to need to deal with to get back to the Super Bowl, that they're going to have to go through that sort of thing. Packers, Bears, Niners, all given a B plus. The Bucks, a B. The Seahawks, a B minus. And the Rams, even with the signing of Myles Garrett, were given a C plus. So you listen to that, most of them solid numbers. So, but again, Eagles only team in the NFL per ESPN that were given the A. I'm so, I'm sorry. I got to repeat that because it's just shocking me that we got that kind of coverage from ESPN. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the overall grade, but also the different things that I talked about and that I mentioned. What you think was the biggest thing for the offseason? What did you grade the Eagles offseason? And what, based on that offseason, what thing specifically are you looking forward to the most, or that you are watching the most to see if it actually pays off? Let me know in the comments below. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. I truly appreciate it. I will talk to y'all later.